Well, tonight was ridiculous again. Outside my client's house, some idiot said something off in the dark about no one's to believe her. So I called him a cocksucker. Okay. While I'm out there smoking, some lady um, comes out and says, Judge Pete expects me to pay for it, and he told me to tape her before. And then she takes off. Okay. My replacement comes in later on, and I go to leave, and I get my vehicle. Um, some guy off in the dark. I know she never hurt anyone. Okay. So I start rambling through all the people that know I was photoshopped, drugged, framed before the FBI. Okay. There's quite a few. And telling the police, including the Canton police, that they photoshopped. Where nurse at Mercy Medical, March 13/21, the only thing they had on you was adjusting yourself. The guy said, that's sick. She said, no, it's funny. Well, radiated in town April 1st to May 10th. You didn't expose yourself. You're good. You just wiped off some water with clothes. I'm like, okay, you're weird. What were you doing in my house? Okay. And then March 2nd to the 3rd of 21, my car's bugged. They said they were going to put two clips together and put me in a porn. Well, all of a sudden, you're weird with yourself. You expose yourself. You're weird. I'm like, my God, that didn't happen. Um, Somebody else's body. And they kept describing it. I thought, well, the only time I touch myself like that is showering. My apartment's bugged. I go outside. They're laughing at me. She figured out what they did. Right? Ed, the maintenance man at Oakland apartment, December 9th, 21 at 4 p.m. Now, he had made fun of me for the toxic water. Okay. Well, someone called him and said all the tapes before were them, not her. Wow, what's going on? It's a group of men doing as many crimes as they can to see if someone will actually stop them. Well, December 9th, 21, I was also at the Hunger Task Force. One of the guys distributing the food, they'd have the list of the volunteers that day. Bald guy with dark eyes again. Different one, not the cop that raped me. Um, this is just one of the guys that used to help out. He comes out, he looks at me and says, it makes my stomach turn seeing her in a place like this. We always knew the tapes before were them, not her. So we never said a word to her. And I'm so mad I'm shaking inside myself. Okay. Well, Ed, the maintenance man, told the older African American man that works with him. A few days later, I'm shaking in my car. Those idiots that raped me and tortured me are driving by screaming stuff at me. So he's like, it's not funny what's going on. She's scared to death of those people. I know. I already told him all the tapes before were them, not her. And it's just a bunch of men doing crimes down here. Okay? That's it. Okay, there was an African American lady at Save-A-Lot. Oh, sometime in November 21, I'd have to get the time and date. Came in and said she was going to extort money out of me. And started lying that you expose yourself, you're weird. I'm like, that never happened. Well, she showed up by the 1st of December and said no one's to say anything to her. We found out they made everything up. Even that. None of this is funny. Okay? I go back to the Hunger Task Force by January 3rd of 22. Um, there's two men in there. We found out that guy knew they did all this to her before and didn't say anything. We're mad in it. Some guy named Eric trying to help him get away with all this. Well, we'll at the FBI in Canton, September 27th, 18. I gave a formal statement of asking for help with threats on my life and witnesses. Okay. Within the week, a guy showed up at Walmart 62, heavy set white guy. I asked Dave about these people threatening her. And he better not put his hands on her until I find out what's going on. Until he talked to Dave, nobody could be in my home. It's illegal surveillance. Illegal surveillance is always thrown out. Police and FBI can only be in your home, on a protective life. They can't even watch some guy bailed out on a murder charge. They can put a little anklet bracelet if they goes to flee before the trial that'll call the police, but they can't even watch him. Why? Because he still could be found innocent in a court or trial. He has the right to privacy, right to remain quiet, right to fair court, trial, bail, and bond. It's our Constitution set up so that the police and other people cannot do entrapment and frame people. Now, they've even admitted to people that no man has ever talked to me, that they use True Serum. True Serum is sodium pentothal. If you Google false confession, sodium pentothal, questioner gets what it wants, right or wrong. You'll say yes to anything. Lethal sodium pentothal. It's used in anthrax and lethal injections. Illegal sodium pentothal. FDA prohibits any use in humans and not to be brought in the United States. It's a lethal outlaw drug. If you survive, you say yes to anything. They don't drug anybody. The law is no coerced confession is admissible. It's also with illegal surveillance. It's thrown out and they can't look or listen. I talked to Officer Reinhart in Louisville. I told him how they said they altered porn and drugged me and told me to say something stupid. He started giggling. He's like, it comes down to no matter what. Nobody's allowed in your home. Nobody's allowed in your home until you spoke to Will and gave your formal statement. Nobody can watch you in your home. It's illegal. It'd be illegal to look or listen. I looked up the charge for it. It's 5 years federal prison. It's considered police abuse, police misconduct, and entrapment. Okay? This whole thing is police abuse and misconduct. Judge Pete, for his daughter, Memorial Day weekend 2019, food counter, Walmart 62. All white woman standing at the food counter with an African American man. Now, they'll still have it. I talked to Walmart. Okay? Memorial Day weekend 2019, food counter. For it's my daughter, her husband dates. He met her in Ravenna when she was having a stomach spell. It's for my daughter they did all this for. And our family watching her doing this. And for who's Karen's rich boyfriend but the state of Ohio who protects her. Mocking me from the food counter. They're getting paid to protect me, and it's them doing it. Now, they have blamed the FBI for everything, pretended they were FBI. Okay? And the FBI needs to take care of this. We'll list me an informant. I was talking to one of my friends that used to be a prosecutor. He said once the government protects you, it's illegal for them to drop you. They can't just drop you. You stay an informant unless they put you like in the witness protection program and they have to notify you. They can't just drop you. Some man, and I forgot to tell Will that he went to pay her the night before. He looks like Ludic. He could be his kid at that close. White with black hair, dark eyes, black glasses, 5'9", 5'10", late 30s, early 40, Paymer got in Dave's face. Apostolic Church of Barberton. My God, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there, and I walk off. Dave and I get in the truck, and he screams at me. I thought he was going to kill me in the truck. Okay, I forgot to tell Will. I was so horrified with everything being threatened to get knifed in Giant Eagle, the what a shame, realizing the attempted kidnapping is in one guy, the attempted carjacking was the same guy, and that where the attempted break-in at Perry, where they knew the security system was, it was him the whole time, and he wasn't misspeaking, and it wasn't random. And even though following and rendering it was Harold Strange's great niece's Facebook friend, I had a hit on my life and I didn't know it. Now, they warned me they were going to do this in Walmart by January 19th. Remember the truth. They'll try to implant lies. They'll try to steal everything you have in life. People got paid off up here. It became 2 teams, one for you, one for Dave. The agents are so corrupt, they'll try to steal a settlement. That's this. Okay, and we're this one girl, Sarah, at Key's Jeweler, she had been trying to fix a problem for me. Some new kid put a payment in as a sale, and because he didn't sell anything, it's sort of lost in an electronic jumble. Okay? And she had to keep calling the main office, find the right person to move it. And I'd go in and she'd be put on hold and she'd take notes of who she was talking to. Okay. Um, she told me, she said, Katie's leaving threats in the mall. Her church has a permanent plan to do away with you. And they're going to teach you a lesson you never forget. She's like, Karen, I'm scared for you. The way she talks about it, it's really dark. Well, she talked about it in front of more than Sarah. Okay. All right, that's this. Okay. Now, it came out that Dave was where I was getting sick when he touched my drinks. He was roofing me and telling me to say something stupid. The apartment building for me, second one close to the fence. 8, 9, first thing in the morning. The kids came running out laughing at me that I figured out Dave drugged me. Okay. 8/8/21. A guy that looks like Henry Moffy, Moffy. Okay. Hadn't been following me around for 3 years. He was in Bedford, Milton, Ravenna, North Canton, Louisville. Okay. I don't know who he is. He comes racing into town. That ass actually fentanyl her. Okay. And I've been tortured by these people. I'm like drama queen. He screams out on Fairlawn Street. I feel bad about everything. I'm like drama queen. 8/8/21, 8:15 to 8:30 at night. Now my car is bugged by the police. Okay. Goes into the database. And they sold the login to a real protective life case. They talk about it in Walmart. The agents are selling the login for money that's going for $25 a pop, and I can give you a big list of people that have it. Okay? Said, did you know he fentanyl her and told her to say it before? No, we just found out. We just didn't know. They already knew that kids were lying. So they thought they'd make a buck off a roofie. Okay? May 25th, Louisville, Wendy's. They were talking about it, the crew. They were saying the church people weren't funny, breaking in before drugging her and telling her to say weirdo molester stuff. That's not funny. Okay? And the people in town are calling them bastards. Well, my old client told my other neighbors, Jim and Brian, he heard it, and it was too dark for him. Okay? Well, that lady in the apartment building for second close offense talked to the police in August of last year. Ed's talked to the Canton police. And that the ball guy told investigators how I was photoshopped and drugged before. Okay. There was a guy that showed up at Department of Disability, probably in January of this year. On a Wednesday, I went in with my second client, and there was some guy outside the room. She was drugged and told to say it before. Well, someone needs to help her. It's like, duh. I have never been questioned of any wrongdoing by no man, no lady, no officer, no agent, no attorney. You can't just break in somebody's house and set up cameras stalking them, photoshopping them, and then roofing them. It doesn't work that way, and stabbing them with needles. And within the first month of calling the FBI, I had people breaking in. They turn off my security system, unlock my bedroom door, and I'd wake up with a bruise on my leg. Go down to Walmart. We always knew you were innocent. Don't you remember the sodium pentothal? Tell someone you're arrested. I'm like, who are you? Why are you mean? What are you doing? And what were you doing? Okay? Walmart still has all those tapes. And they have the 6 stalkers chased off. And they even have, by Christmas of 18, a white man with white hair and hazel blue eyes. I'm part of the 25,000. Strange hired me. I want to see her, and comes up around. That idiot at John's church had come up to me. Heavy's that white girl with black hair, tinted red, looked at her phone, scowled, looked at me, scowled, and walked off. I thought, oh God, they pay people to know where I'm at. Okay? We go to Minerva Grinders. John's got a head cold, coughing up snot, and his ears are plugged and keeps running to the bathroom. Now, they hired actors and actresses. Some bald guy with a red beard had showed up in December at Bob Evans. I'm Karen's handler. Those are my men, easy boys. They were part of the people hurting me. Okay? There was a crazy blonde lady with him. I'm a psychiatrist. She's not. She needs one. But they were in there, okay? The white-haired man's sitting behind me. The tall white guy with black hair that tried to kidnap me, threatened to knife me in a Giant Eagle by Huntington Bank, tried to carjack me. Comes walking around me and John walks off to the bathroom again. And they were sitting behind me. It's funny, the waitress sat beside us. Dave said he tore up her shoulder. I had a field picked out south of Ravenna, where I want to cut up her face and stab her to death. And then a pretty blonde girl, looks like Savannah Strange, looks at me and walks off. I was in a restaurant full of murder. John got out of the bathroom. I'm like, we need to go. Get my kid out there. I had almost been shot in the head driving. I had a slam, talk, and swerve. They argue in Walmart, she almost got shot. But then the first 45 days, we got to pull her out. The guy running it won't let you. You have to leave her in high danger. And I kept thinking, and they kept saying the case is called Karen's Will from the agency. And act like they were agents doing this to me. And I thought, I asked you for help. Why are you hurting me? And here was a dirty undercover police from Ravenna doing it for Judge Pete's daughter, Michelle. Okay? Lying to people that the agency was doing it. Someone needs to look into 1220. Now, there is a real protective life case. Bo started it. I found out February 7th, 22. There's a Giant Eagle in Louisville, and there's a little AutoZone next to it. I take my neighbor up there. We go to get in my car. I said, Will did all this to her. He said, Will did very little with this case and left it on his desk. I'm like, oh my God, that's why they got away with it. He left me on his desk thinking that he could put me in police protective custody. They could handle the stalkers, list her informant. No man's ever to touch her again. They're going to threaten her life and hire stalkers. Nobody touches her. Okay? He left me on his desk. He fucking left me on his desk. Now, 12/21/18. Now, there's real legal police investigation of a threat on a life. Well, started it. Some of the sheriffs were talking at Faith Family Church. Are you, after everything bad had happened, are you interested in working Karen around the house? He said, what's that? One of us have to listen to her, watch her every day. Okay? So that's the one Will agreed for the police to take care of me, not knowing the police were doing it for a judge's daughter. Okay. 12/21/18. I get a shower. I have a doctor's appointment. I go to the refrigerator. I'm stabbed in the neck. Foggy, hazy, dark. I wake up 6 hours later in bed. I have a dent the size of an egg in the back of my skull. Hair's missing, skin feels funny. Okay. My head's pounding. Dave's found another man's cum on the dresser accusing me of having an affair. I'm like, I don't know what happened. And he's screaming at me. Okay. I go back and lay back down. People are breaking in, stabbing me with needles, so I can't keep thoughts together. Within 10 days, they're at Walmart 62. By the TV's being implanted on a neural chip. We all can read your thoughts. I'm not lying. You couldn't have done it. Neural chips are real. If you Google paralyzed man plays video game with brain chip, paralyzed man plays computer with brain chip, it comes up with the one with a cell phone. It's used in medical field since 16. Our government recognizes this as an illegal strategy for the truth. U.S. Supreme Court 18-10134. 2005 11th Circuit. It's a 20-year sentence. Okay, so March 13th of 21, I'm at Altman Hospital. Okay, I'm there at 2:53 p.m. I go in. There's people in there that have been following me for years. Your phones are going off. You pay me how much for a settlement? You'll pay me how much for a settlement? I'm walking out. Tape and audio through the whole hospital for medical malpractice. They still have it. I go in and I get registered. I sit down. Some lady comes in and said, "We're here for Karen's will." The agency chipped her. The nurse points over at me. Is that why she's here? A bitch gets in my face. The agency wanted the truth out of you. That's why they chipped you. I'm like, shut up. It's illegal. I go in the back and Dr. Alanatina says, I'm like, I may have a chip. I didn't want to, go in detail. He goes to leave. There's a man right outside my room, some damn bastard neurochipper. We already know. There's a CT scan at Mercy Medical. You can see they got the wires a crack. Now, these people sold the login to a real protective life case. It's illegal for police to even give out names, addresses, or any details of the case. They sold the login. People have this. Some guy called it Karen Around the House series. They made money at my expense and others. Okay? And now they want more money on their altered tapes and their drug confession. And these people are such retards. There's people telling the police, they're telling investigators, I was photoshopped, I was drugged and told to say stuff before. They're blatantly breaking in, stabbing me with needles and showing people what their crimes against me. Okay? And they heard they were doing it before. I have a video of talking to Dave because I couldn't figure out who was breaking and stabbing with needles. There'd be footsteps on the back steps and leaves in the kitchen after I'd cleaned the kitchen. Wake up in the security system and be off, and I have injection marks. There was a man walking towards my house. The tape froze for a second, and when I restarted, he was gone. They were playing with evidence on the real case. Okay? But I have a CT scan at Mercy Medical. You can see they got the wires crack. I did research. Neurochipping, even though it sounds horrible, it's really basic. They just cut your skull and your skin open, lay the disc down, expand it out, and surgically glue your head and scalp down. It's that simple. It takes like an hour. They use it in paralyzed patients. What did they do to me that I was out 6 hours? I even had a big bruise under my ribs. It was purple afterwards. Marks on my neck and other places. I need somebody to watch the house tapes and get these bastards. You'll find the rape and torture between July and September 19, 12/21/18, stabbed in the neck at the refrigerator. And you'll see those idiots break in and stab me repeatedly. Okay? And then you can, where the gunshot night was a mean stunt, like the one guy said it was. How they do it. Have sound effects, and it was the neighbor's grown kid that tried to grab me the next day, and then the illusion of a murder to scare me out of that house is still racketeering and extortion. And it's horrible. That Asian lady lied that something happened to her husband, and I tried to get her help, and I got raped and tortured. Yeah, because you could hear Dave outside saying they kill people, and then them gutting the other side of the duplex so that it looks like illusion of murder and covering it up. That's like how the guy said, how do they do it? They have microphones in that house to make it explode like that, so I'd have to cover my ears from the explosion at gunfire. And then the police inside Walmart, from the courthouse, 2 African-American men with dreadlocks, they are agents stationed at the courthouse, or officers at the courthouse would follow me around. By March of 19, self-pay registered by the food counter. There's a long one that's still self-pay. We stayed out the gunshot night because Dave's girlfriend's prettier and the guy running in didn't blame us. And right after the gunshot night, right before Christmas of 18, there's a white-haired guy with gray hair and a mustache and a group of them. How stupid I looked sitting on the floor. And then there's like 40 men around the fruit counter and register, tape and audio. We got to leave her in high danger, da-da-da-da-da, and talking about the gunshot night, just like they did after I almost got shot driving. Failure to protect us, police abuse and misconduct. This whole case is nothing but that. And drugs and framing and illegal surgeries. This is something the FBI does investigate. And who else is going to correct them but them? And when I got a hold of the Department of Justice, they told me to get a hold of the FBI. Yeah. Because there was a case on conflict of interest for judges. 5 judges had 41 lives raped and framed before they were stopped. They got 6 to 20 years. Conflict of interest for friends and family is 10 years federal prison. Illegal surveillance in somebody's home is 5. Drugs is 20. Neurochipping somebody, U.S. Supreme Court 18-10134, comes with RICO charges, 20 years. Our U.S. government recognizes it as an illegal strategy for the truth, remote neuromonitoring, electronic brain links. We have the right to remain silent, legal representation, a right to a fair court trial, bail, and bond, and we also have a right to privacy. Like I said, the only time that they can actually break that is a threat of life, ask for help, Miranda rights, witnesses, and then speaking to the other person. Otherwise, it's thrown out. That's why Officer Reinhardt started laughing. He said it comes down to no matter what. Till you spoke to Will, nobody could look or listen. It'd be illegal to. And I said, but they said they put clips together. I don't care. But they're supposed to drug me and told me to say something stupid. I don't care. Not one thing before Will. He said, I actually knew Will. He's retired now. He left me on his desk while I lived in a concentration camp. I weighed 212 to 217 October 1st of 2018. Time I moved out in April 1st of 19, I weighed 150 pounds. I lost 62 to 67 pounds in 6 months. I lived through hell. I faced stalkers, shooters, Dave beating me with internal injuries, people drugging me up until I couldn't even keep saliva down, abducting me, doing surgeries, and I'm hard telling who what else. Somebody needs to do something about this. Because they have a list. And I called Will's secretary. He was outside talking about a list of people to do this to. And in that Justice for Victims of Torture and Terrorism Act, it's a set price of cops raping you. They have to make it right. Their legal department don't even have a right to say no. And they have it on tape and audio on a legal case of that cop raping me. I was in Walmart yesterday. Actually, it was today. I dropped off another payment. One of the families that watch me, their little kids see me. Hey! And they're like, don't do that. No one's around her. They found out those people actually raped her. Right by the door. By the food counter. God. I need to find out what happened 12/21/18. I was in pizza restaurant last year. A Canton officer walked by and his phone dinged. I started reading off where I lived and everything else. I have something in me. Okay.